Welcome to the Grow Your Law Firm podcast, brought to you by Pilma. This podcast helps lead lawyers to more growth, profit, and freedom. Here is your legal marketing expert and host, Ken Hardison.
Well, hello, everyone. This is Ken Hardison, and welcome to another episode of Grow Your Law Firm. And today we have the honor and the pleasure of Michael Talve with Expert Institute. Good morning, Michael. Glad to have you on the show.
It's a pleasure to be here. Thanks so much for having me. How are you today?
Okay. So this is going to be a little bit different than we usually do, but one of the reasons I wanted them on here is because when I was practicing law, it was hard to find experts, and knowing that and doing research on other experts, you had to depend on other lawyers and different things. But, with technology and things going as they go, there's a lot of services out here, and Expert Institute is one of them. So you need that to grow your law firm, because if you want big cases, if you got big cases and you want to win, you've got to have the experts. I mean, it's just the way it is. I mean, no defense law firm is going to take you serious if you go in there and you don't have, on a high dollar case, don't have some kind of expert, whether it be medical or reconstruction or causation or just dealing with liability, but you need them, future losses, economic losses, all kinds of things. That's how you value drivers. That's how you drive the value of your cases up. So, Michael, tell me a little bit about the Expert Institute. What is it? When did it start? How does it work? Just tell me the whole ball of wax.
Thank you, Ken. Really glad to be here. The Expert Institute really started as a platform to pair plaintiffs' lawyers with subject matter experts. So our core business today, even after 13 years operating and having worked on 300,000 plus unique litigation matters with over 6,000 different law firms around the United States and Canada, the core of our business remains pairing plaintiffs' lawyers with expert witnesses. And we do that by aggregating lots of data and information about people who've been expert witnesses in the past and about people who we think could be expert witnesses in the future. So we're looking at all of their professional accolade. What do they do for work? What experiences do they have that might render them suitable to serve as a subject matter expert in the future? Any of their credentials, licenses, every article that person's ever published or contributed to, book chapters they may have authored, events where they speak or lecture, any entities or organizations that they might be involved with, like you referenced medical or accident reconstruction. If it's a doctor, for instance, is this person speaking, or do they have a board position in the National Orthopedic Institute of America? And if so, are they the director of the hand and wrist surgery unit? Do they publish on the topic extensively? Then in some instances, depending on the industry, we might even take it a step further for doctors, for example, and look at how often they perform a specific procedure, or how often do they treat patients that look and have certain characteristics? How often do they prescribe a specific drug? So we really look at data and information to verify in both a quantitative and qualitative way that we found the best subject matter expert for a specific use case. Then we'll take a look at any of the past litigation records that might be relevant. So if this person's been an expert witness before, what firms did they work with? Against what parties? What was the case about? What was their opinion? In front of what judge? What was the outcome? Were they on the winning side or the losing side? What position did they take? Was their testimony challenged? So we really take a very careful look at lots and lots of data and information. We use AI and machine learning to do this. And as a result, we're able to find our clients the best qualified experts for any specific subject matter. We also have a product that actually takes all that data and information that I just mentioned and actually turns it inside out. Because what would happen, a lot of our customers would come to us and say, you already found me this really awesome expert on a Roundup case or on a big medical malpractice case or for Camp Lejeune, but we need information about the experts that the defense has designated. And we've got so much information and data that our system is automatically collecting and processing in real time that we now have a product that we sell called Radar, which is really unique. And I think it's the only product of its kind. It's been really successful in the market. And it allows our customers to very thoroughly research and diligence and investigate opposing experts on any litigation matter. And it's also updating this information in real time. So instead of having a paralegal or an associate or a bunch of lawyers going out and searching for different disparate information sets and trying to put it all together and then having to do it again in a month or in 2 months or in 3 months, see if anything changed or if there's any new information that exists, we're doing this in an automated way. So that's sort of the core of Expert Institute's offering. We also have a number of different service lines ranging from a medical record, chronology, and digitization service, which is really popular. Also uses AI to take medical records, summarize the experience or treatment that an individual may have received from all different healthcare providers, makes everything searchable and indexed in a really unique way, super valuable and helpful to plaintiffs' lawyers. We've also got a team of doctors, about 75 physicians, both full-time and part-time, that are evaluating cases for plaintiff, PI, med mal, products, premises, even mass tort lawyers, and helping them to determine if the case is worth pursuing or not. Because as you know better than anybody, there's nothing more important to a plaintiff's lawyer than finding out real fast and efficiently and early if a case is not worth pursuing. If there's nothing there and you don't want to spend time and effort and resources pursuing it, even before you sign the case up, it's valuable to find that out as quickly as possible. So that's an important product of ours too.
So that radar, how do you price that? I mean, that's cool. I like that.
Right.
Radar.
That's a buying question. We sell radar in 2 different ways. Most of our clients, of the 6,000 or so plaintiff law firms that we work with on a regular basis, many of them have subscriptions with Expert Institute. So they pay for access to our platform, which is called Expert IQ. And they have a subscription in place for either one practice group or even for the entire firm more typically. And they can use radar as they need to. If you don't have a subscription, radar pricing starts at around $4,000, but it depends on the complexity of the individual we're profiling and aggregating information on, how quickly you need it, and a couple of other factors. But it can be purchased in either format, either a subscription for the whole firm, or if it's one specific lawyer, one specific case, typically starts at around $4,000.
Okay. Okay.
And by the way, it's a case cost. So for most plaintiff firms, when they think about what are the benefits of working with Expert Institute, well, benefits are many. We're certainly more efficient and we're really laser focused on the business lines that we work on. But in radar specifically, a law firm might have to hire another associate or paralegal or nurse or another lawyer to do all this research, and then that winds down. And you don't need somebody to be doing that kind of work all the time. It's also not what they're specialized in doing. Whereas for us, it is purpose built to do exactly that. And it's a case cost. Whereas having another lawyer on staff or another paralegal on staff is not a case cost. That's overhead for the owners of that law firm.
So I guess my question, what I'm trying to think about is like, do you have it to where like you can hook somebody up with something outside the norm? I would guess you would, because you got this big database that you can just go after, like something weird, like alligator bite cases, I mean, something crazy.
Really, we've seen it all. And that's what I always say to my team is we're fortunate to be in the position we're in. We're helping people who've had some really unimaginable, horrific tragedies occur in their lives. And we're on the other end of that trying to help them pursue justice. And we're finding experts for cases ranging from an alligator bite at a golf course community in Florida to anything you might read about in the news. So any of the cases that you're seeing in the news on any given day, whether it be gun violence related, whether it involve a big chemical or toxic exposure incident, a train derailment, airplane crashes, people being stampeded at a concert where there were limited security protocols in place, social media addiction, you name it, odds are we've seen it and are working on it or have worked on it already.
So you probably work with a lot of the big mass tort firms too then.
We do. Yeah, we've been really fortunate to work with some of the best and brightest and most accomplished plaintiff lawyers in the country. It's really interesting work. And we as an organization, I think, take a lot of pride in being able to help people who've had these horrible things happen to them. And we recognize that they only get one shot at it. And they've got one opportunity to pursue a claim and be treated fairly, and having the best expert and the most accurate research and information about an opposing expert in that case is really mission critical. So we strive for excellence, and we've got a team of people here who work really, really hard. And I think they appreciate the privileged position we're in to be so helpful to these folks.
So if somebody wanted to learn more about this Expert Institute, how would they go about doing that, Michael?
Sure, great question. Well, we've got a team of about 300 employees around the United States at Expert Institute. I think we're probably the biggest purpose-built company focused on the plaintiff space today. And we've got a lot of employees in New York City, where I am today. Got a really big office out in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, over 100 full-time folks out there now, which has been terrific, really great place for us to grow the business. And then we've got lots of great team members distributed around the United States in different regions where we do a lot of business. So, up and down the coast in California, all the way up to Washington and Oregon. We've got folks in Texas, throughout the Midwest, Chicago, Florida, really up the East Coast as well. So it sort of depends on where the law firm's based, and we'll get them paired with somebody local because we think there's a lot of benefit derived from having a personal relationship with the firms that we support on the most regular basis. Of course, our website, expertinstitute.com, is probably the most comprehensive marketing collateral we have about the business. So if anyone has any, immediate questions, they're welcome to check us out online, but you can call us any time of day. I think our business hours are probably, Eastern, 8 a.m. to like 10 p.m. because we have people working for us on the West Coast who are helping clients in Hawaii or in Alaska or in California until evening hours.
That's expertinstitute.com. I went on it before we did the podcast today. It's a pretty well put together website. So kudos. It was easy to figure out what y'all did, how you do it. So yeah, I thought it was good. Well, good deal. Anything else you like for our listeners or viewers to know before we call it a day?
Well, first, thanks again for having me. Really a pleasure to get to sit down and connect with you in this forum. I'd say for your listeners, we really take a great deal of pride in the work that we do in providing information and data and technology to plaintiffs' lawyers in a way that most aren't even familiar with. What we're competing with more often than not, it's not another company that provides information about experts or another company that can find you an expert witness. Typically competing with firms that say, I've been finding my own experts for the last 20 years, or I've got a couple of different experts that I like to work with routinely, or if I need information about a defense expert, I email my listserv or my partners or a couple of buddies from the Trial Lawyers Association. What I would suggest is the work you're doing is so meaningful and important that to take a chance on those methods for finding the best expert when your client's livelihood is on the line, taking a chance on getting information or deposition transcripts or diligence conducted on a defense expert when your client's livelihood is on the line is just uncomfortable. And if you'd like us to give you some exposure to the work that we can do, we'd be delighted to have the opportunity to do so.
Well, thank you so much, Michael. It was good talking to you. Glad to meet you and hope to see you soon, my friend.
Thank you very much, Ken. I hope you have a great day. All the best.
All right. Till next time, this is Ken Hardison, dedicated to your success.
You have been listening to the Grow Your Law Firm podcast, the podcast that leads lawyers to more growth, profit, and freedom. Go to growyourlawfirm.com to find more ways to market and manage your law firm. Please leave us a rating and review wherever you listen to your podcasts.